Hi friends, my name is Angela and please forgive me, I'm a little bit nervous. So I've been a Christian pretty much my whole life for as long as I can remember. My parents never went to church. I discovered Christ on my own through a friend of mine who took me to a Bible camp, and it was life-changing. However, my relationship with God has been a roller coaster. It's had its ups and downs. I've always claimed myself as a Christian, but I've never been committed to the relationship as I am now. And it's still a work in progress. And I was just hoping that I could start a community here on YouTube. And I'm so glad that you're here. And I'm really hoping that we can become really good friends and we can support each other on this journey together. I got baptized in 2019, and ever since then I've really been trying to read a chapter of the Bible every day. I've many times went through the process of, read the Bible in a year and started it, never finished it, or where they have you read like 4 or 5 verses and they're skipping all around the Bible. I have read what they call the Action Bible, which, I'll put up a picture of it. It's a comic book or graphic novel version of the Bible, and I loved it. It's specifically meant for kids, but what it did was give me a new experience with the Bible, which really made me want to read through it once more. I've also listened to the Bible on an audiobook, and I've done this more than one time. However, I've fallen asleep some of the times. And since I've been reading a chapter a day, my relationship with God has become so strong. I'm able to hear Him better. I feel like when I am going through attacks, it gives me more strength. Oftentimes something that I read, because I typically read in the morning, something that I read in the morning will have a profound effect on something that I go through later on in the day. So I have gotten to some points where I'm like, oh, I don't really want to read this chapter, so I skip around sometimes with the different books, but I am trying to be dedicated to reading a chapter a day. And I really want to get deeper into it as far as the Bible study piece of it, trying to really understand where they were coming from at the the time it was written and how it applies to my life. I want to meditate on it a little bit longer, and also try to read it more than once throughout the day, just so that it really sinks in. So what I thought that I could do here to start is read the chapter with you, and then I can just kind of share my thoughts. And as I said, I really am trying to build a community, so what I'm hoping that you'll do is you will read along with me and comment down below your thoughts, your feelings, anything you want to share. I'm hoping in the future to bring like a prayer circle where I do a live where I'm able to read and we can read different people's prayer requests, and then we can all kind of just come together and pray for each other. One of the main reasons that I decided to do it this way is because I have really bad social anxiety. So while I've tried to join an online church, going to an actual church has been really hard for me. And to me, the most important part of church is community. So if I can't actually step into, or not step into, because that sounds like, oh, I can't go into church. No, if I can't actually like comfortably go to church because, like I said, I'm under attack. So then I'm thinking that this is a way that I can really grow my confidence and maybe overcome some of those fears, and in the future maybe go to church or just really increase my community in my Christian community, because I think it's really important that as Christians we surround ourselves with people who have the same values that we do, and it'll really just help to keep me on the right path. And I'm hoping it'll do the same for you. Like, we can be accountable for each other. If you're struggling with something, you know, let us know, and we can be there for each other. We can talk about it. We can go through different examples of what we went through. I'm hoping to do like I don't know, like kind of like a Zoom call where it's not just me, like a panel where I have some of the subscribers, you know, come on, and we kind of just go through and talk about some of, you know, the things that are going on with each other. So I have a lot of plans for this channel, and I'm just really hoping that you come along for the ride, because I'd really love to have you there. And without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I wasn't really sure where to start, whether I should start with a chapter that I've never read before, or whether I should read through one that I've read before and made notes on. So I kind of just left it up to God this time, and I opened my Bible, and this is what it came to. And this is Psalms 90, which is a prayer for Moses, the man of God. And when I opened it, I knew I had to start on this chapter, because I've been hesitant to start this channel because I'm not the best like public speaker. I'm very shy, and my voice is shaking a little bit right now, but I just said, God, like I don't know what to say to people. I don't know what they want to hear. I don't know what. And he just said, let me speak. And so I'm really leaning on God to use me just as a vessel and kind of speak through me, and hoping that I'll touch on the things that you need to hear, the things that I need to hear, that when I make my, you know, observations, that it'll compel you to do the same, so you can say how you feel about the different verses. If there's something that I didn't touch on that you think is important, I think it is crucial that you put that in the comments, because someone needs to hear it, and that someone might just be me. And again, that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to start this channel. So, you know, I read through, I want to say it's in Exodus, where Moses was just like, I'm a clumsy speaker. Let me find it. Because I think, yeah. So in Exodus chapter 4, this is when Moses is talking to God about pretty much being afraid to be his spokesperson or to speak his message. And the Lord's just really trying to reassure him and do everything that he can to let him know that, hey, you're going to be fine. So he said, the Lord says to Moses, if they do not believe you and are not convinced by the first miraculous sign, they will be convinced by the second sign. And if they don't believe you or listen to you even after 2 signs, then take some water from the Nile River and pour it onto the dry ground. When you do, the water from the Nile will turn to blood on the ground. But Moses pleaded with the Lord, O Lord, I'm not very good with words. I never have been, and I'm not now. Even though you have spoken to me, I get tongue-tied and my words get tangled. So in this case, then the Lord says to Moses, who makes a person's mouth? Who decides whether people speak or do not speak, hear or do not hear, see or do not see? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go, I will be with you as you speak, and I will instruct you in what to say. So I read over that again, and I just said, okay, God, you know, you did it for Moses. You know, I'm not asking for you for any miraculous signs, other than just tell me what to say, and I'll say it, Lord. And all day today, I've been under attack. Unbelievable. I wasn't even sure I'd be able to record this video today. And when I had the opportunity to record it, I was like, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe this is just too much for me. And then God was just like, girl, if you don't sit down and record this video, So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna be reading from, this is the Inspire Praise Bible, and it's a journaling Bible. It is so beautiful. It has beautiful pages. I'll link it down below. You can get it on Amazon, and really this Bible has inspired me to want to read more and really just spend more time. There's pages that you can color. If you can see, like, you can color the pages. There's lots, there's like this much space where you can write notes. And I just got some colored pencils and some highlighters, and I did my thing. Let me know if you're interested on a video on how I Bible study, and I can provide that in a future video. But for right now, I want to at least start with reading a chapter a day, just to kind of encourage you, and we can do it together. Like, you don't have to do this on your own. And so this is the NLT, so the New Living Translation. So whichever Bible you're reading from, it may be a little bit different. I also want to put a disclaimer. I don't know how to pronounce a lot of these words. I'm not the best reader, but again, I'm relying on God. I may skip over certain people's names that I don't know how to pronounce, so please forgive me, and I hope you do not take offense to that. I'm not trying to disrespect any of these people that God has blessed enough to be in the Bible. I just don't want to disrespect them by saying their name wrong or anything like that. The purpose for me is really just to convey the message. And right now, I feel like it's really needed in the world. Like, we really need to hunker down and stand our ground where it comes to our faith. So, also, I will put a link in the description box below to a Bible app on your phone, so you don't actually have to have a actual Bible. You can have the Bible app, and it's a great tool to grow your relationship with God. Again, I said I was going to start with Psalms 90, and I hope I made it clear why when I opened my Bible, I was just feeling like after reading Exodus this morning, to kind of just give myself some confidence, when I opened my Bible to a prayer of Moses, I felt like that was just God telling me, like, this is where you should start. You're on the right path. Keep going. So let's get into it. So Psalms 90, this is book 4, and it's a prayer of Moses, the man of God. Lord, through all the generations, you have been our home. Before the mountains were born, before you gave birth to the earth and the world, from beginning to end, you are God. You turn people back to dust, saying, return to dust, you mortals. For you, 1,000 years are as a passing day, as brief as a few night hours. You sweep people away like dreams that disappear. They are like grass that springs up in the morning. In the morning it blooms and flourishes, but by evening it is dry and withered. We wither beneath your anger. We are overwhelmed by your fury. You spread out our sins before you, our secret sins, and you see them all. We live our lives beneath your wrath, ending our years with a groan. 70 years are given to us. Some even live to 80. But even the best years are filled with pain and trouble. Soon they disappear, and we fly away. Who can comprehend the power of your anger? Your wrath is as awesome as the fear you deserve. Teach us to realize the brevity of life, so that we may grow in wisdom. O Lord, come back to us. How long will you delay? Take pity on your servants. Satisfy us each morning with your unfailing love, so we may sing for joy to the end of our lives. Give us gladness in proportion to our former misery. Replace the evil years with good. Let us, your servants, see you work again. Let our children see your glory. And may the Lord our God show us his approval and make our efforts successful. Yes, make our efforts successful. Amen. So, another thing I forgot, is the blessing at the beginning of the reading. So when I've been trying to like get into saying the blessing before I begin to read, I just, pretty much keep it simple and sweet. And I say, Lord, please bless this reading. If you have something with more substance, please leave it in the comments below and I can add it to my daily readings. I know that there is a power in words. Before there was anything, there was the word, so I know it's very important what I say. And so I'm trying to be more mindful of what I say and also pray more. So not just like, okay, I'm going to pray before I go to bed. I'm going to pray when I eat, but continuously praying throughout my day as I do things that normally I wouldn't think to pray before I do it. Like if I'm about to type an important email, just saying a quick prayer. So that's another reason why I'm hoping this community can help me with that and just give me some of your go-to prayers in the comments. I'd appreciate it a lot. So what did you think of Psalms 90? Did it resonate with you? Did it hit on any topics? Anything that you've been going through? For me, it definitely did. One of the very first things that I noticed in the beginning, this was verse 4. It says, "For you 1,000 years are as a passing day, as brief as a few night hours." So to me, I really, and then also in verse 12 it says, "Teach us to realize the brevity of life so that we may grow in wisdom." So I'm really trying to focus on living in the moment but also realizing how important each moment is. Like time goes by quicker than we think. But for God, it's very slow, like he said, 1,000 years are a passing day. So I wonder, the things that I put so much heavy weight on and thought on, to him are probably nothing. It's like, will you really be thinking about that in, 5 days or in a year? Is it really that important for you to dwell on it like you do? And for someone like me who has anxiety, I dwell on things and I get stuck on things. So I really just wanted to make that point in my mind that, hey, 1,000 years is a passing day for God. This is nothing. This is nothing. And when we're in heaven and we're living our best life, like, we're not even gonna be thinking about that. So I just really want to realize that some things aren't really that important. They don't really matter that much, but other things are so important. So how brief life is, focus on the good stuff. Focus on what really matters. Stop consuming our day with negative thoughts and emotions and really try to focus on the good. And when we see ourselves slipping out of that positive and peaceful environment, realize that that's not of God. God is not going to put you in a place that's negative and heavy. He wants you to be happy. He wants you to be peaceful. He wants you to be filled with love and positivity. And when we see ourselves focusing on that negative and being consumed by those types of things, we need to realize that, hey, this is not of God. So let's just rebuke it. Like, I rebuke you. This is not of God. I rebuke the situation. I rebuke these feelings. I'm not going to stay in this space. I'm going to go stay with God. I'm going to go sit with God. So, I just continue to pray that God give me that gladness and that, in verse 14 it says, "Satisfy us each morning with your unfailing love." So when I get up in the morning, I want to be satisfied with the day before the day even starts. I want to realize that, hey, I have God's unfailing love. There is nothing that can take me away from that. So, hey, I'm good. I'm good today. I'm going to be good. So that we may sing for joy to the end of our lives. So satisfy us each morning. Each morning when I wake up, I should wake up with praise and thanksgiving to God, because I know I'm going to have a joyful day. And that's kind of where I'm at. Give us gladness in proportion to our former misery. That's verse 15. Replace the evil years with good. So, I told you my relationship with God has been a roller coaster, and I've had a lot of really bad times that God literally drugged me out of. And now I'm just praying that all those bad times, I have way more good than I ever had bad. And that He's replacing all the depression and the misery with joy and happiness. And the closer that I get to Him, the more time I spend with Him, the easier it is for me to be filled with that gladness and for my cup to be overflowing. Months ago, I wouldn't be sitting right here doing this. I'd be under my covers because I had a bad day. And I would stay there until the next morning and just try to act like it never happened. Just to be in this space where I'm connecting with God and I'm feeling His joy from the moment I wake up and just having a good day on purpose because I know He gave me this day is really important. And also, the very last verse where it says, make our efforts successful. So when I was trying to decide which chapter to start with, and I saw my note on the side, it says, make our efforts successful. I was like, this is definitely it. So, after reading the beginning that says a prayer of Moses and having that connect with what I read in the morning, and then getting to the end of the verse and it says, make our efforts successful. So I'm just praying that God makes this community successful and that we're really able to help each other and be there for each other. And, I know that there's probably tons of things that I haven't touched on yet in this verse that are important to you or that stood out to you and that I need to hear. So, I'm really hoping that you comment those things and we can just really feed off of each other. The very first verse says, Lord, through all the generations, you have been our home. So God is my home. He's my house. And one thing I've learned over the years is that the church is not a physical place. It is a community. And I'm not a pastor. I'm not a minister. I haven't been to theology school or anything like that. But, God has made more out of less. So I just really, am following God's lead. When He asked me to do this, I said, okay, and He's my home, and He's where I feel safe, and no matter what happens, I know I'll always be okay, and I know that everything that I do will be successful if I lean on God, and if I follow His lead. So I'm really just living in the moment, and I'm going to wake up every morning with gladness, and, I'm just challenging you to do that too, to wake up in the morning and remember that God is your home and that no matter where you are in your life right now, you are at home and at peace and filled with gladness because of God. And if you step outside of the weight of what you're going through in that moment and just put all your focus on God, then those things will take care of themselves. God is going to take care of you. So, I don't want to keep you too long. I don't know, I don't know what's good. How should I make these longer? Should I make them shorter? What other stuff would you like to see? Just let me know and let's build this community together, okay? And again, I'm going to be posting every day around noon Eastern Standard Time so that you can be consistent with it. You can watch, yesterday's, tomorrow, or whatever, but I'm posting every day just a reading of a chapter and then just a quick what I got out of it, and hoping that you can tell me what you got out of it too. And then, we can just go from there and see where this channel leads us and see what God has in store. So stay blessed and stay in God's presence, and I love you.